Welcome to another video, and here we'll be looking at whether it's possible. There is a possibility of Ethiopia joining EAC, East African Community. In an interview with East African newspaper in April 2023, the East African EAC Secretary General Peter Mathuki said, and I quote, "After Somalia, the other country we should be thinking about is Ethiopia. If we admit Ethiopia, the EAC market will be more than 500 million people. Nobody will talk matters market and security without talking about East Africa, and that's the conversation we have started." End of quote. So with this quote, we see that there is a possibility that Ethiopia might be the next country to be admitted into EAC. Rightly after the Somalia application is verified and approved by the summit. To answer the question, yes, there is a possibility of Ethiopia joining the East African Community. Ethiopia in the past has expressed interest to join the EAC, and the EAC member states have also welcomed the possibility of this country being a member of this bloc. There are a number of benefits to Ethiopia joining the EAC. First, it would create a larger and more integrated market for goods and services, and this would boost trade and investment in the region. Second, it would improve infrastructure and connectivity between the EAC member states and Ethiopia. This would make it easier for the people and also goods to move around the region. Third, it would promote peace and security in the region. EAC member states have a long history of cooperation on security matters, and Ethiopian membership would strengthen this cooperation. However, there are also some challenges that need to be addressed before Ethiopia can join the EAC. One challenge is that Ethiopia is much larger country than other East African member states. This could lead to an imbalance of power within the bloc. Another challenge is that Ethiopia has a different economic system than what we have in other East African member states. Ethiopia is a state-led economy, while other member states are more market-oriented. This could make it difficult for Ethiopia to integrate into the EAC common market. Despite these challenges, there are benefits that Ethiopia and also other countries in the bloc can gain out of this. The EAC member states are committed to working with Ethiopia to address the challenges and also facilitate Ethiopia accession to EAC, as seen from the quote by the Secretary General. Overall, the possibility of Ethiopia joining EAC is a positive development for the region. It will create a larger and more integrated market to improve infrastructure, connectivity, and also promote peace and security. In 2023, the Kenya President William Ruto expressed his support for Ethiopia joining the EAC. He said that Ethiopia's membership would strengthen the EAC and make it more competitive in the global market. The EAC member states are expected to make a decision on Ethiopia when the application is made, and this could be a few years from now. In terms of eligibility criteria, a country has to meet some criteria for it to be admitted into this bloc. Ethiopia has yet to meet all of the criteria for joining the EAC. The EAC sets out a number of criteria that must be met by any country that wishes to join the bloc. One of the first criteria is that country must be neighboring one of the members which is already in the bloc. And since that Kenya borders Ethiopia, and as soon as the Somalia admission, so Ethiopia will be sharing border with these two countries. Other criteria include commitment to the principles of democracy, good governance, and human rights, and the rule of law. In this one, there is a challenge. Acceptance of EAC treaty and its protocol. There is compatibility of the country's economic system with the EAC common market. We have seen that there is a challenge here. There is also ability to contribute to the development of EAC. Ethiopia has made progress in meeting some of these criteria, but it still has some more work to do in other areas. For example, Ethiopia has made significant progress in democratization process and economic reforms in the recent years, although there are some challenges still. However, as you have said, there are some concerns about human rights and rule of law in Ethiopia. Although this has been overlooked in other cases, we have South Sudan, DRC, and Somalia. These are not perfect countries when you talk of these criteria. Some of them don't meet them. DRC has its fair share of conflict in the eastern DRC. South Sudan was also admitted with its own problem. Somalia is almost being admitted with its own issues, especially the fight with Al-Shabaab. Although Ethiopia has relatively higher GDP compared to most of the EAC member states, as you have seen, its economy is structured differently compared to other EAC member states. This can make it difficult for Ethiopia to integrate into the EAC common market. Ethiopia is a state-led economy, while other states are more market-oriented. In a state-led economy, the government plays a dominant role in the economy. The government owns and operates many key industries, and it sets the price and wages. In a market-oriented economy, on the other hand, the private sector plays a dominant role in the economy. The government allows businesses to operate freely and to set their own prices and wages. Ethiopia's state-led economic system has a number of advantages. It allows the government to direct investment to priority sectors and also create jobs. It also allows the government to control inflation and protect the economy from the external shocks, although Ethiopia is one of the countries that has one of the highest inflation rate currently. However, Ethiopia's state-led economic system has also a number of disadvantages. It can lead to corruption and also inefficiency. It can also stifle innovation and economic growth. The EAC member states are committed to promoting economic integration and also creating a common market. However, with the state-led economic system, this will pose a challenge to this goal. In order to join the EAC, Ethiopia will need to make some changes to its economic system. It will need to give the private sector more freedom to operate and set the prices and wages. It will also need to reduce its ownership in key industries. Ethiopia government has said that it is committed to making some necessary reforms to join the EAC. However, it's unclear how quickly these reforms will be completed. Overall, Ethiopia's different economic system is a potential challenge to its accession to the EAC. However, the EAC member states are committed to work with the country to help it meet these criteria. Despite these challenges, the EAC member states are committed to see Ethiopia join as a country. The country has a huge potential. It's one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. It has a huge population, and this will create a large market for the goods that are produced within this region. Once Ethiopia meets all the criteria for membership, it will need to be invited. It will need to make a formal application to this, and this application process will go through various steps, including verification, where a team will visit Ethiopia to try and see its level as far as requirements are concerned. There will be negotiations in various steps, and then if it's approved, then Ethiopia will be admitted as a member in the EAC. Overall, it's likely that Ethiopia will eventually join the EAC, and it's highly likely. However, it is difficult to say when this will happen. It will depend on how quickly Ethiopia can make progress in meeting these criteria for membership and how fast the process will be taken through. But given how fast the admission of DRC, admission of Somalia has been done, then probably within a year we may see Ethiopia joining the EAC bloc. Ethiopia recently joined the BRICS countries, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out, especially given that we'll have two major economies, Kenya and Ethiopia, competing. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. We'll keep tabs to see what happens. So thank you for coming this far. If it's your first time, please subscribe to this channel. You can watch other videos that we have made on Ethiopia and other countries in the EAC, and you can give us your thought about some of these issues that we have discussed. So thank you.